This is a Power 98.7 podcast. Now we're talking. Subscribe to Power 98.7 podcasts in iTunes or wherever you get your podcasts. There's more on power987.co.za.
For now, we are talking what we said we'll talk about, hashtag Put South Africa First. Vuyolethu Zungula, who's the president of the ATM, is joining us on the line. Good morning to you and welcome to Power Talk.
Morning and greetings to everyone listening.
Beautiful stuff. We are also joined by Nandisa Gschwari, founder of Action for Change South Africa. How are you, Nandisa?
Good morning. I'm well, thanks. And you?
I'm very well. Thank you so much for making time. Really appreciate it as well. Let me start with you, Nandisa. Hashtag Put South Africa First movement. Give us a sense of what we are talking about here. Is it one organization? Is it a combination of organizations? And to what extent does it operate on a day-to-day basis, or is it something that only exists on social media first, and but in terms of where it is right now?
Thank you for giving me this time. Action for Change, actually, it's not one organization. It's a group of patriots, those that believe that South Africa needs to be prioritized in this country. That's how it came about. It's not only active on Twitter. We are active on the ground. We are educating our people that you cannot come lost in your own country.
Yeah. So what's the official name? Is it Action for Change or is it Put South Africa First movement?
The movement is registered under Put South Africa First, but we have organizations that are supporting it, that they have the same view and objections about South Africa. So it's not individuals. I mean, even you can come and join us because we're talking about the lives of South Africans being in jeopardy. We're talking about South Africans suffering in their own country where they're still living in the sheds, while other people that they didn't even fight for this freedom, they are having RDB houses, they are having electricity, they are having water. But the South African citizens, they don't benefit in those things because we're having so much influx of illegal immigrants in this country.
So before I go to Vuyolethu, I mean, how do you then? What do you do on a day-to-day basis? This is what I'm trying to get at in terms of because the exposure that you are emitting out there is for most of us on social media, but boots on the ground type of a thing. How do you do? And how do you also advocate for these rights that you are talking about for South Africans? Do you engage political parties? Do you engage government? I'm trying to get a sense of, where your heartbeat lies, so to speak.
When we are on the ground, we're doing a lot of motorcade awarenesses. We are engaging with the government, Department of Labor. We're engaging with Home Affairs as well. We are trying to talk to other political parties that believe that South Africans must put first, like Vuyo Zungula. I normally have discussions with him because I believe that he's a patriot. There are a lot of other organizations like unions that we are working with. So we are a group of people. We're not xenophobic. We must just stay away from that one. But we believe in the rights of South Africans based on the laws that we have. You are aware that we've got immigration laws. We've got labor laws. Our immigration laws, they state that, when people, they come to South Africa at the point of entry, they must take 3 sets of fingerprints. One goes to Interpol, one goes to Home Affairs, one will remain with the person wherever they go, in order for us to know that we are not inhabiting criminals in this country. Same thing with Department of Labor. Department of Labor needs to make sure that when people are bringing laborers in South Africa, it's a scarce skill. Right, but now it's free for all. People, they'll come seeking asylum. They'll come claiming refugee, but they'll be opening shops in the township like Somalians, Ethiopians. We've got Chinese in South Africa that they are taking everywhere, and they employing Africans. We feel like we're being violated our rights as South Africans, and our government is not protecting us. So that's why we are also engaging them as well.
Let me go to Vuyolethu Zungula, who's the president of the African Transformation Movement. So you are not South African Transformation Movement, you are African Transformation Movement. and yet you are saying put South Africa first. Is there something that perhaps we don't understand there? Because I would have thought that if you say you are African and something follows, you speak to the entire continent of Africa and its people.
Look, we are an organization that is formed in South Africa. South Africa is a sovereign country, and there's only one country where South Africans can be prioritized. It is South Africa. Now, all of the countries in the entire continent, they prioritize their own citizens, and that is not something that is regarded as if it is anti the continent or it is something that is xenophobic. So us being an African transformation movement, it must be noted that even ourselves as South Africans, we are African. So there's nothing that is anti-African about saying South Africans must come first. And I want to correct this narrative that seeks to mislead people to say put South Africa first is anti-African. What we're saying is put the interest of South Africans first, because the majority of immigrants in our country that operating in our townships are coming from Asia. Some of the people that are working in some of the universities as senior lecturers are coming from America and Europe. So when we're saying put South Africa first, we're saying South Africans must come first in their own country, because this is the only country in the world, in Africa, where South Africans can be prioritized.
So, I mean, as you are a political party, you are part of this particular movement. To what extent are you also lobbying for these views beyond, your political space as well? So that, as I say, I mean, most people would say that put South Africa first is just something that an entity that belongs to Twitter.
No, definitely does not belong to Twitter, because all of the issues that have been raised by the social media platforms, it is issues that have been raised by people in the respective communities. The only thing that Twitter has done, it has amplified what the people have been saying all along. Even ourselves in Parliament, we've been advocating for these issues. For example, saying the labor laws are very clear regarding the employment of anyone who's not a citizen of our country. Now, the reality is that if you go to many restaurants, majority of the workforce there, it is not South African. Go to the truck driving industry, it is the same issue. Go to security industry, it is the same issue. Go to the university industries whereby there's professional lecturers, it is the same issue. This is what we've been pushing. Hence, President Ramaphosa initiated an interministerial committee that comprises of the Department of Labor, Department of Home Affairs, to look into the realities that are faced by ordinary citizens. Other parties as well have been talking and in support of what we are saying. The only issue is the stigmatization of put South Africa first as if it is something that is xenophobic. And that is something that is very incorrect, because right now in Namibia, they said the labor force must be 100% local. No one said they're xenophobic. In Botswana, there are certain businesses that if you are not a citizen of Botswana, you can't partake in. No one said you are xenophobic. Same thing in China, same thing even in Zimbabwe. No one says they are xenophobic, but the tag that put South Africa first, or the issues raised by put South Africa first as xenophobic, is only reserved for South Africans. So our duty now, it is to open the minds of the people of our country, that when it's not enough for a person to just say you are xenophobic because they want to silence you. Ours is to speak the truth up until people understand that there is no hate when it comes to prioritizing your own people in their own country.
So, Nandisa, I've had a couple of Zimbabweans who say, look, we want to be home. We want to stay home. We love our country. But the situation on the ground in our country is just so bad, to a point where we are forced to come to South Africa and eke out a living. What do you then say to somebody who says that, who says, I have to survive. It's a survival mode. I don't like doing what I'm doing. I'm qualified as this and that other professional, but I'm forced to do work that pays me very little in order to eke out a living. What do you say to those that are here who are occupying the same jobs that you are saying should be prioritized for South Africans?
We understand their pain and we feel it. We suffered the same thing in the 80s. If you remember from 1985 until 1990, how the youth of South Africa suffered fighting, to get this liberation today. They looked at the apartheid. They didn't look back. They fought it. They died. But they didn't say we are suffering. Millions of us, we're going to go and hide in Zimbabwe. Zimbabweans must stop making their problem a South African problem. They must seek better support from our government to say, come and rescue us. This is what is happening. Not come and cry in South Africa. While they're crying, they are also backstabbing us because what they're doing now, they are competing with us in the market. They will go look for a job. When they go, they say, no, I'm Zimbabwean. I can take anything. You can give me anything. For example, there's a company that is in Midrand. It's Galencia. They are Chinese. Those people, they hire Zimbabweans only. Their argument is that Zimbabweans will take 9 rand an hour. So what does that do to us? The impact that they have in the South African lives. It's time that the South African government open the refugee camps if it wants to help Zimbabweans and put them there, because now the competition is outweighing South Africans. We do cry with them, but
Absolutely.
They need to go back home. They are destroying our country. Whether we like it or not, we must stop being political correct and start dealing with the challenges. South Africans are bleeding.
Yep.
They are crying.
Vuyoleti Raitlwana Mauto on Twitter says, why are your guests not taking the AfriForum posture? The posture that works. Fight for South Africans through the courts instead of the futile tweeting and marching. Vuyo?
Look, we are a party in parliament. We've pushed the government to concede, hence the creation of the interministerial committee. And people must understand how expensive it is to go to court or to use the court procedures. Organizations might not have the financial backing like Solidarity and AfriForum. So perhaps they must understand as well that what we've also been trying to do, and it has been working very well, it is to conscientize people about the prioritization of South Africans, because immediately in the past you spoke about prioritizing South Africans, were easily labeled as xenophobic. But currently, when people are saying prioritizing South Africans, that tag of being xenophobic is no longer there, because people understand their rights, they understand the laws. So it is not something that has not yielded results.
You are in Parliament, Vuyo. What are you hearing from fellow parliamentarians? I mean, we heard what the comments from ZANU PF, a spokesperson who said that who threatened to reveal the real reasons why a South African delegation of the ANC came to Zimbabwe at that particular time. But the president said there were no, anything, that was under the table. The intention was to deal with the situation and find solutions in Zimbabwe itself. Why would you have a South African government that says to its citizens, whoa, vachabiki?
Look, Tabitha, the reality, and something that South Africans need to understand, some of the people in parliament or people that are in government, senior leaders, have got business interests across the continent. Now, they are using those business interests at the expense of our citizens, because what they are doing, it is to put the interests of their businesses first, regardless of all criminalities or all form of breaking the law that is happening in our country, because they do not want to upset the countries whereby they are having business interest in. They will continue talking as if the breaking of the law, the people invading our country, because when a person forces himself in South Africa, that person is invading our country. Now, they will speak about all of those things as if it is something that is not important, whereas it's very important for our security. Okay. And I must highlight this. We have an insurgency in Mozambique. Now, it has killed more than 2,500 people and displaced more than 500,000 people. Now, we have a border with Mozambique. Any rational leader will understand the importance of securing the borders to make sure that the insurgency in Mozambique does not spill over to our country.
All right, our two guests, Violet Tuzungula, president of ATM, as well as Nandisa Gschwari, founder of Action for Change South Africa. We are talking hashtag Put South Africa First movement. And of course, we are going to take your calls as well, 0861 987 000. Philip in Shawela, I know you've been holding for quite a while. So is Muremogolo in Pennyville in a few seconds.
Speak up. Call the power line on 0861 987 000.
I'm going to plead with everybody who's calling because we are limited for time to just cut to the chase, starting with Philip in Shawela. Philip, go for it. Good morning. Chapuzet, boss, please go for it.
Yeah, my brother, I'm missing you, man.
We are here.
I'm missing you. I was expecting you last night. When I came across a certain gentleman, which I don't know. But
Yeah, I get you, bro. But we are running out of time. A lot of people wanting to comment. If you can just cut to the chase.
Tabiso.
Yes, pa.
This is the mess of the ANC and the EFF. I'm telling you, they must see to it a problem in because I mean, I don't have any work. It could look Zimbabwean guy. I was earning 5,000 rand. That guy's earning 2,000 rand. You get what I mean?
Yeah, I hear you. So you are saying the problem is the ANC as well as the EFF. Muremogolo in Pennyville. Good morning.
Good morning and welcome, Tabiso.
Thank you, sir.
Good. I just wanted to say to the two persons that you interviewed that, you know what, I thank them for the bold step that they've taken in spite of all this, blackmailing, calling them xenophobic. They must just continue. And I'm saying to them, there is no country in the world that can allow such anarchy. It's only South Africa, and we should stand up as South Africans and ensure that anarchy doesn't continue anymore.
Is this the normal reaction that you normally get, Nandisa? The reaction that we got from Muremogolo?
Yeah, I am getting a lot of being painted as xenophobic, Afrophobic, but look, where I'm standing, I don't care. I'm saying South Africans deserve better in their country.
Violet, do you get a sense that Put South Africa First is actually making a difference because some people are of the view that the situation is getting worse and worse?
It is getting worse and worse because the government is not implementing what is not enforcing the law. However, with the rise of South Africans taking charge and voicing their frustrations to the government, difference will be made, including these local government elections, whereby South Africans have got an opportunity to correct all of these issues that have been highlighted by Put South Africa First.
Wouldn't you say that the previous by-elections, the biggest that we've seen in this country in November, would have, put to the test what you are saying because, the ANC did quite well?
No, not at all. Remember, by elections, the turnout is relatively very low, less than 25%. Now, with these local government elections, that's why I'm calling for the people to correct their mistakes, because for all of these things to be rectified, it needs local municipalities as well as the government to actually enforce the laws. And that is something that requires political will. Now, if the people are complaining about South Africa First issues and still vote for a party that has created this mess, then it is the people who must take the responsibility. And I want to also stress that what me, Nandis, and all of these people on South Africa First are saying, we're not saying anything new. We've not started anything new. We are just speaking on behalf of the voiceless and marginalized people of our country who've been complaining from in the early 90s about this issue, but they've been sidelined, they've been silenced on this issue.
Let's go to KwaZulu-Natal. Busi, good morning.
Morning. Thank you for taking my call.
Yes.
Look, for me, it's simple. I think as South Africans, apartheid has left us with scars where we want to be better than other blacks or other South Africans. I mean, after 1994, we saw the introduction of BEE, employment equity. A lot of people that got jobs, they got jobs because of employment equity. Now, we are saying that let us ensure that everybody participates in the market. Let us reserve the informal sector for South Africans. A salon, an internet cafe. Those are not rare skills. We should not have waiters that are not South African unless that is a restaurant that serves food that caters to foreigners. But outside of that, we need to protect our sovereignty. We need to protect our people. I think the middle class should be ashamed of itself.
Faith, Sunning Hill.
Yes, thank you for having me. I also wanted to share a comment, and it's being said that do we want these people gone? But the honest truth is there are stats that support this. Dubai last year recently took all its migrant workers back to their countries in order to protect their country and their economy. 1983, Nigeria did the same thing, chased away 2 million of Ghanaians. So what we're asking for is nothing new in the continent or the world. Prioritization of South Africans is crucial. Our people cannot be suffering where else there are the voters are in this country. They need to be prioritized. We need to come first in every sector. Informal economy does belong to our people. Our constitution, our labor laws, our immigration laws support this. We want the government to properly implement all of those and put us first. It is our democratic right.
Faith, point gotten. I'm going to squeeze in Jackie, whom I'm going to ask to be quite quick as well as we wrap up this conversation. Jackie, Kempton Park?
Yes. We as a South African, we need to be patriotic because now we're saying that now people are jumping the boat. They're staying with us. They are in our flesh. We lack money. We are not patriotic. We lack money. We don't check the person who's staying in your place, the person working in your place is documented or not. So we lack money.
Okay, that's Jackie there in Kempton Park. Vuyo, what's your final word on this particular issue? What are the plans moving forward that you think people need to know about? 1 minute.
As the people of our country, we need to stress this time and time again. What we are doing was securing the future of our children who will not have a country should this mess continue to happen. It is very important that citizens of our country correct this mistake by voting for ATM, a party that is unapologetic about prioritizing South Africans. In the local government, that is where the bylaws and all of these things can be enforced. Now, that is our biggest target as a party, to enforce all of the immigration labor laws in our city.
Good stuff. Nandisa, what is your parting shot?
I'm going to tell my lovely South Africans that they need to fight for their rights. We cannot live in a state of grants. They must go and demand those jobs because they belong to them. They must face the regime of this ANC to go and fight for what is yours. Look, we've done this thing in between 85 and 90. Why are we stopping now? We cannot give our freedom to somebody else. The jobs are there. You deserve them. Go and take them.
Thank you so much, guys, for talking to us. We really appreciate it. Violet Zungula, Nandisa Milisi there also talking to us, put South Africa first as well. We thought we should just bring them on just to get a sense of what is it really that, this whole hashtag is all about. But they're basically saying that it's all in the interests of South Africans. Makopo on Twitter says, no way this problem with immigrants will be resolved by the ANC government. South Africans will scream until they are blue. No ANC will toe the line here. And then Tsepo saying that it is the EFF that we need to blame because they are perpetuating this open border thing, whereas some of us who vote for them continue to plead with them to change their stance on this issue.
You've been listening to a Power 98.7 podcast. For more podcasts, visit power987.co.za or subscribe wherever you get your podcasts.